camps, you want to spread the reps out because we're getting a lot of them right now, and so, and so I don't want to be a deal where I, wear my guys out right now. I want to use a lot of guys, which eight's been the number. Christian Brown, missed yesterday, so he's back, and so. But there's nothing wrong with him. He just, camp things that happen, and so, I don't want it to be a deal right now until after probably this week, and maybe even into next week where we get to a true two deep.
For the guys who got their first experience last year, Christian, Kinsey, how important was that year, and how much have you seen out of those guys specifically in terms of when you first got your hands on them to now as they're closing out their second camp here?
I mean, I'll tell you that they're getting better. You obviously being here and having experience is great, but I really can't answer that question until William and Mary shows up out here. Then we'll know. When people are in the stands and they have the band out there playing and people are screaming real loud how much they've matured and how much better they've gotten.
You mentioned that Dontrill Hyman last week. I remember your quote was, you were speaking English, he was speaking Spanish. Have you gotten it all on the same page? Has he started to figure out English yet?
He's starting to figure out what we're talking about. I mean, he can see the picture and a lot of film study, a lot of reps, a lot of just talking, a lot of standing up and lining up. We get in my meeting room, we don't have tables, we have a bunch of chairs, and we spread them out, and we stand up, and we go through stuff in there. And so we'll stop the camera, stop the video, and line up and do it. And so I think that's helping him, and it's just going to be an ongoing process, but he's definitely made a lot of progress from last week to this week. Now, you got to continue to do that and finish the week strong. His body's, nagging with just like everybody in America that plays on the D-line or any position right now in camp. So he's got to push through that a little bit, but, obviously he's gotten a lot better.
You cross-train your guys for a couple different positions quite often. With a guy like him that's new, though, do you just stick him at one and let him learn that first for a while?
Yeah, we hadn't done any of that yet, with the exception of a couple of guys that have been here. He's doing one thing, and I don't think it's fair to him to ask him to do multiple things and be good at any of them. We want to make sure we narrow his responsibilities and let him play fast. He's definitely athletic. He's explosive, and he can change a game. My job's not to slow that down. I don't want to hamper his ability to play with those strengths, by loading him up too much, and so I don't want to do that.
What are his strengths? Is he a pass rusher first, run stopper first, or can you quantify what he does well?
He has the ability to do all of it pretty well. I mean, he's an explosive guy, very, very talented. He's heavy, he's strong, he's powerful. I mean, he's got all of it. There's really nothing he can't do. It's just learning when to do it, right now, and at a high tempo. But he's getting there. He's getting better. They all are.
You mentioned the cross-training aspect. Who can play multiple positions? I've seen Kyle Rose at a couple of different spots for you. Who can do that for you?
Kyle can, and we really haven't gotten into like our dime stuff yet where we'll do more of that, and we just now have gotten into our nickel stuff. But, Kyle can definitely do that. Kinsey has the ability to do that. Noble has the ability to do that, And so we got quite a few guys that can line up across the front. Line up in a zero nose, a shade, a 2-eye, a 3, or a 4-eye, or a 5. It's all the same, okay? But when you start putting responsibilities, blitzes, and things like that, that's where learning multiple positions is hard. And so we haven't done much of that yet, but except for with guys that have been here before.
And you're working with the Bucks as well, right? What have you seen from them?
Ability to make plays, and that position has to be a very impactful position. It's got to be a position that produces a lot of impactful plays and explosive plays. And Golson's been there and done a great job. He's still learning. He's a lot like Dontrill. My job's not to slow him down. Let him play. Give him just enough knowledge to where he can line up right and execute, and then let him play. And Dozie's back, and Dozie's a great pass rusher. He worked hard on his pass drops, which is great. Tyler Anderson's been there too, done some good things as well. So that's a good position for us.
How much development have you seen out of Noble?
A lot. Yeah, from where he came when he got here to now is night and day, which is scary because he's very young, and he's powerful. I mean, he had a top 5 squad on our team, and he was a top 5 in 20-yard dash, and so that's pretty scary. for a guy that weighs 265, 270 pounds, he's only going to get bigger. And so his deal is just like Dontrill. At this time last year, he was like Dontrill. I mean, he just, he couldn't line up quick. He couldn't, function, with the speed of the game. And so now, I mean, this guy gets lined up. He knows what he's doing, and pretty impressive at times.
How he can potentially play all three spots, right?
Yeah, he could do that. I haven't done that with him yet just because he's a first-year guy, and I want him to, I don't want to be unfair to those guys. I want them to, if they haven't done that role in a game, I don't want to do it in practice yet because it's just not fair. I want them to line up. We're evaluating them right now. We're trying to develop a rotation, and so I want them to line up playing our base defense and see who can do what.
How do you feel right now? Are you comfortable with how you're figuring out the rotation at this point?
I don't know if there's in our profession. I don't know if comfort's ever a word that you use. Like I told somebody the other day. At this point last year, nobody expected anything other than us to be a weakness on the team, and so we used that to our advantage. We worked extremely hard, and we weren't a weakness. We held our own. We did good. We're not into holding our own or doing good anymore. We want to dominate. We want to be the strength of the team, be the best in the Big 12. And so comfort will never come into it. We're going to push, 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 and continue to get better.